So life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And we had some pretty fancy plans for this year. Bottle Rocket was supposed to be finished and, running, and she is finished and running, and she runs really good. And we were supposed to have our slant together and in the car and running for when the tracks open the beginning of March. Here, right? Middle Tennessee. Unfortunately, things happen. This lockdown nonsense has closed down every track, just every track. There is no drag racing. And we probably won't see the tracks open again for at least a month, month and a half, maybe 2 months. Who even knows if they'll open at all this year? I don't know. So I can't even think of hot rods right now. But that gives me an opportunity to think about our daily drivers. So yesterday we were talking about the Ram Charger and how we were going to pull a plug on that, and I was going to save the 360. And that relates directly to this. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this car, this is a 72 Swinger, 71 grill in it, right? It's a 72 Swinger that Uncle Kathy and I built literally in our backyard, literally on the grass, over the course of a couple of months about 5 years ago. And it's comprised entirely of rejected parts from my parts business, stuff that wasn't nice enough to sell, So there, it makes a great appearance, and it's the perfect daily driver. And that was the idea with this car, daily driver. We didn't want to use nice, fancy, expensive, hard to replace parts for something that was going to go out and battle in traffic. For exactly reasons like this. This happened last summer when we crunched the fender and the door. So in my mind, if you're going to put a classic out on the street, don't put a rare one out there, don't put a valuable one out there, don't put something that you can't, just hammer back together again and send back out. But try to make it as nice as possible. So this car was due for a repaint anyway. Again, we painted this in the backyard, and we used cheap paint, and it really didn't hold up very well. But that's besides the point. Last November, the rear freeze plugs started leaking on this 318, and then the rear main seal started leaking, steady drip of oil. So I was like, all right, I got to pull this motor, reseal it, throw the freeze plugs in it, and shoot the car again. But I lost interest in it. And the reason I lost interest in it is because the car really had no sparkle, okay? So it runs really good. It's dead nuts reliable. I would drive this car anywhere all the time. Wouldn't hesitate getting in this car and driving it to Alaska tomorrow, right? But it had no real oomph, there was just something missing, right? And the thing was missing was horsepower. So here's what happened. When we put this car together, I said to myself, if it's gonna go out in traffic, and it's going to be used every day, it has to be that every single part on this car is something I can get at any auto parts store anywhere. So, it has to have stock ignition, it has to have stock exhaust, it has to have stock carburetor, it has to have stock belts, just everything. Because in my mind, a good daily driver should require no aggravation. It should be I can run this on any gas. I could put any oil in it. I could just not think about it. If it breaks down someplace, I can get whatever I need with no hassles. And to that end, this car was fantastic. This thing in the 5 years was never down for more than a couple of hours, right? Because it's built out of such common parts. But it's missing horsepower, right? There's no sparkle. And this thing will never see a drag strip. I think we did take it to the track once. It ran, what did it go, a 16.0 or something like that. It was, So with that 360 that we pulled out, this one over here this morning, this roller cam 360, this kind of gives that project a whole new lease on life. Because I can put this 360 in there and use the exact same philosophies as I did with that 318. Dress it completely with factory available parts that are friendly to daily driver use, good gas mileage, and here it is. This is the perfect substitute. You'd never know if you open the hood whether it was a 360 or a 318. So that's what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do with this car. Since our hot rod projects are on hold until the world gets back to normal, unless maybe we might do a little street racing with Bottle Rocket. Let's just see what happens with that. But until the world gets back to normal, I'm going to spend the next month or two working on this car. And we're going to turn this into a series. Because I literally have to address every single aspect of this car before it's ready to go back out on the road. And this is going to be the perfect daily driver. And that's what we're going to do with this. I don't want to call it a project. It's not a project. It's a series. So this is going to be a series on how to build the perfect daily driver. So obviously I'm working with a Dodge. But we're going to work it so that no matter what aspect of the engine or no matter what aspect of the car we're talking about, it'll be applicable to Ford, Chevy, Import, AMC, whatever it is that you're building. So we'll stay away from very specific Mopar only things and just focus on the various systems and relationships and how to get the most out of your car. So what we're looking at with this car is we want to see gas mileage in the mid-20s, around town and highway. We want to see just absolute dead nuts reliable, daily driver performance. We want to see quarter mile abilities. Not that this car will ever see a track, but we want it to be able to run, let's say, in the high 14s, something representative of what a muscle car would have run in the era that this came from, and do it absolutely all on a budget and 100% here by ourselves. We'll finish the body work. We'll shoot the car, and we'll do all of that. We'll show you guys how to shoot a car outside, right? But we can't really show you how to shoot a car outside. It's more luck than anything else that you could pull off a paint job outside, but we're going to do it. We're going to go through that motor. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to tear it down. We're going to show you guys how to check a motor, see what needs to be rebuilt, see if it has to go to the machine shop, what has to be done with it. Little things that we didn't really cover when we did our Battle Rocket build. Or that, well, actually, yeah, we did that Slant 6 build with the two guys. But we'll refresh all of that in this series. And we'll put the whole car together. And what I'll do is, as I work on each different aspect of this, I'll present all of the different options. Like, in other words, here, I'm using this distributor, this ignition system. Here are the options. You can use this, and you can use this, and I'll give you the pros and the cons of each and why I choose to use this specific type of thing. I think for you guys that are just cutting your teeth on this stuff, and you're geared towards, a daily driver type of car, a fun daily driver type of car, which I really think the vast majority of you guys are really looking for, I know you'll get something out of this series. So, I guess that's it for today, and tomorrow we'll tear that motor down and start looking through, giving it an eyeball and seeing what needs to be done before we go put it back together again. That's it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You said I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, what?
You said
this guy started making noise over here. What'd you say?
You said I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, I said I'll see you tomorrow.
And you said I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, I said I'll see you tomorrow. I end all of these videos saying I'll see you tomorrow.
But that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
I said I'll see you tomorrow.
No, you said I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You want to go back and look at the thing? I said I'll see you tomorrow. I say I see you tomorrow every fucking video. Don't laugh at me. It's not funny. I'll see you tomorrow. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.